Thank you for tuning in for Lively Productions. I'm Michael Lively. Special guest here, Chris Chelios, the head director of the Naperville Sabres Midget program. Now, addressing the elephant in the room, Chel, the people that do not personally know you, they hear the name Chris Chelios. Your cousin, Chris Chelios, played in the National Hockey League. How often do you get mistaken as your cousin?
All the time, all the time. And it's quite funny because every time they look at me, they look at my ID, and they're like, I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, man. I'm not the real Chris Chelios.
So it clearly worked out for you, too. After your youth hockey, you played in the USHL for Sioux City. And then you moved on to college hockey to play University of Wisconsin, Superior, and the NCAA D3 level. What led you to go there?
Well, that's another funny story. I think at that time, I think I was just a type of player that just wanted to play. I really wasn't concerned on where I was going to play. I just wanted to play hockey. But I remember they were calling me every other day. And the one thing is there was a gentleman, an assistant coach there named Pat McPartland. He talked to me that night. I was getting off a shift. He talked to me. It was probably like 8 o'clock at night. And he asked me if I decided yet. I said, yeah, I'm so sorry. I haven't decided yet. And this was like toward the end of June.
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, no problem. Chel, you have a good night. We'll talk next day or so. So then next morning, I had a knock on the door, and it was I opened the door, and there was Pat McPartland. And I said, Coach, what are you doing here? You know, he was the assistant coach who's recruiting me. He goes, hey, I just forgot to tell you on the phone. I figured I'd come in person. And he says, this is the jersey we want you to wear as you see the number that you wanted.
Sold.
And I looked it up. I said, you really drove 7, 8 hours to give me this jersey, to show me this jersey. And he said, yeah, absolutely. And I think at that point, I felt that I was sold on that point. I was flattered. I just couldn't believe a coach, assistant coach would do that. So I made the choice that day. Said, well, that night, and I called him. I said, I will go. I will be a Yellow Jacket. I would be honored to.
Let's see too. After you played there, you played a little professional hockey as well. You played in the CHL, the ECHL, and if most people don't know that about you, I learned a couple years ago as well. You went overseas to play in Germany. And how different was it moving to Europe to play professional hockey?
It's different style, different pace, but I really liked it. People were really nice there. They're very welcoming. If you don't produce, they won't be as welcoming. But I had a great experience there. It was great people, I believe it made me a better hockey player. Just kind of see a different element of the game.
Did the North American style, the European style fit your game better?
North American, absolutely. There's really not a lot of finesse in my game. But
let's say we play a little game here now, Chel. Maximum 8 pucks, see how many shots it takes to get in all 4 corners. I'll let you go first. Show us how it's done. But now your life a little different now than when you started your coaching career. You have 2 kids, Bray and Zach, with Kate and a third one on the way, expecting. Congratulations,
Thank you.
By the way, on that.
Appreciate it.
But now, how has this changed or adapted to your coaching style of having a family now in your coaching life than when you started without a family and without kids?
Wow. Yeah, my life has totally changed. I feel not only with the kids, I've just adapted to how players are now, right? And you can't go in there and rule with an iron fist anymore, like the old school ways, right?
Yeah.
But,
as much as you want to.
As much, yeah, exactly. But you just hold kids more accountable. And like I said, I feel with my kids, they have softened me up. And but I love it. I love being a father. Another new chapter of my life that I look forward to.
Now moving into a new generation of athletes that you see, the new generation of kids coming up now with the whole video games and whole the culture everyone is now, what do you think is the biggest challenge in coaching youth sports?
I think there's a lot of distractions in the kid's life now. Um, Being a kid is harder. They face a lot of things at school, trying to fit in. You got the thing that's always been there, bullying, that I really frown upon. I think the biggest challenge is just like to motivate the kids, make them believe in the team concept. You know what I mean? I always say what you put into is what you get out. If the kids aren't giving me 100%, how am I supposed to get 100% out of them, right?
You obviously have a great playing resume, a great coaching resume is ready. What's your next big goal now? You're trying to educate yourself to be even better every day. What's your next big goal in the game of hockey?
My next big goal is just be a better coach. Like I'm happy where I'm at, right? It's at the tier 2 level, and the thing is like if I can move a kid out to AAA, if I can move a kid out to juniors or to college, I'm cool with it, right? I don't need a coach anywhere else.
Now I want to end on this one, as all the young coaches out there listening to this, or future coaches that want to get into the coach industry. What's the one piece of advice? I mean, you touched on it a little bit and stuff, to educate yourself, to motivate each player. But what's the one piece of advice you had to tell these young coaches?
Be fully invested in the kids you coach. That's the thing. That's it. If your mindset is to make these kids better hockey players, and not about winning, you'll be successful. And that's what I've always kind of taught myself. At the end of the day, it's not about wins and losses. It's about what you're going to do for the kids. And I feel like if I develop the kids, make them better hockey players, then they're going to take care of themselves. So I think with these young coaches, you just give them your time. Give them have your patience. You know what I mean? Talk to the kids. You know what I mean? Not every kid is prone to be yelled at, right? There's kids out there that will shut down. So you have to learn how to communicate with kids in a different way. Every kid is different. So as long as you show them the love of the game and you show that you care, you're going to be in this sport for a long time.
Perfect. Well, Chel, I appreciate you sitting down with me and talking about this. Best of luck to you and the Sabres this year.
Hey, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
That's all for Live Productions.